I've always wanted to do one of these tag videos, but just never have. But we're gonna get into it. Let's do it. Let's do this.
I wanna be your lawyer. I really understand you, baby. I'm gonna be your lover. I'm feeling the strange, crazy. I wanna be your lover.
Brooklyn Dow today, representing DK to the fullest. God, I miss Brooklyn. Got my drink right here, vodka up. Y'all know how I do. For the past almost 2 years, I haven't been drinking as much as I used to. I'm very proud of that, but that doesn't mean that I won't indulge in an adult beverage every once in a while because... So before I begin, just want to say shout out to Andrea of Andrea's Life. I got this idea from her. She did a small YouTuber tag video, and I'll link to it in the description. But yeah, it really affected me. I enjoyed watching her video because she explained her reasons for getting into YouTube. And I'm not going to spoil that. You have to go. I'm going to link to it. You have to go and watch. But what it did for me is, just really opened my eyes as to, why people do this. I know a lot of people think about YouTubers, vlogging, and they think it's a vanity thing, or, perhaps like my bartender, Cammie, she said to me the other day, she's like, is your plan to blow up on YouTube and make a lot of money? And, I think that that's what people really think about, when it comes to YouTube and vlogging. They think that folks are chasing money and fame, or they think, like I said, it's just being vain. It's just I'm putting myself on camera because I want the world to see me. But for a lot of people, it's much deeper than that. A lot of people aren't chasing fame. A lot of people aren't seeking a get rich quick kind of thing. It's not just about putting yourself on camera and being seen. Yeah, that's gonna happen, but people have other reasons for doing this. And Andrea's reasons really spoke to me. And while I already love watching her channel and I think she's an incredible human being, this just endeared me to her more, understanding why she initially picked up the camera and started YouTubing. I'm just like, wow, it's very cool. And it's very inspiring. So as I said, check out her channel, check out her small YouTuber tag, and maybe it will affect you the same way that it affected me. As I said earlier, this is something that I've always kind of wanted to do, but when I looked at other YouTuber tag videos or looked at the questions, they were mostly geared toward a younger audience, questions that I'm just like, nah, I'm not gonna answer, stuff like what's your high school mascot, or what, just stuff that wouldn't pertain to me. Stuff, questions I couldn't answer, to be honest. But whatever. And also, it'd just be a lot of questions. I love you guys, and I'm sure that if you're watching this, you probably like me in some capacity, but I'm very sure you don't want to sit through 20 or 30 questions from me in a YouTuber tag video. Only got 7 questions. I'm gonna answer these 7. Gonna be as brief as possible, as brief as the vodka will allow me to be. By the way, I need to take a sip. Hold on. Ah, so good. So without further ado, let me jump into this small YouTuber tag. All right, question 1. What made you want to start YouTube? Well, this is easy. I honestly had always looked down on YouTube vlogging. I just didn't like it, didn't understand it, wasn't for me for a very long time. But then when I've said this before, when I made the move from New York to Los Angeles, I got the bright idea of YouTubing my journey out here. Let me show all of my friends and family what it's like, what I'm doing. This will be a way for them to keep in contact with me, because I literally moved across the country and really have no one out here. Most of my support, most of my familial base is on the East Coast or in the South. So it's just like, So So I wanted to make use of my YouTube channel, which I established, God, years ago. I think back in 2006 was when I actually established my YouTube. But I wanted to really get into it and start making videos so that my family and friends could, as I said, keep up with me and what I'm doing out here. And for anyone who didn't know me, to just come along on this journey. I hope to be an inspiration for people who may be chasing their dreams, especially if their dreams are, within the film industry, as a writer, a screenwriter, a novelist, whatever. So that's pretty much why I wanted to start YouTube. And in the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I had a camera. I think it was definitely a mirrorless. I think it was like a Canon M3 or an M5, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I had everything just on auto settings, and I'm just like, okay, this will be good enough, right? But I started looking things up, and I knew that I needed like a better microphone than just like the on-camera mic, and that led me down a YouTube rabbit hole. I ended up coming across the channel of a vlogger named Brian Miller, and he had the same camera that I had. And Brian had a solution for attaching the microphone to the camera, because the way the flip out screen was on the camera, it was just weird. It flipped up in a way that you couldn't attach a microphone to the shoe on top of the camera. So he devised a way using this weird clamp that you could attach to the camera, and could also attach like your GorillaPod, what have you, have your mic kind of off to the side. It was weird looking, but it worked. And just from there, I really began to dive into like what I needed, the equipment that I needed, what were the best lenses, what were the best microphones, lighting, all sorts of things. And just slowly over time, I think that I've improved. But yeah, just watching other content creators, I came across people like Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, Matty Hipposia, Danny Gevirtz, Potato Jet, the folks at Film Riot, all the usual suspects, right? And just really became immersed in this entire world of YouTube content creation. So, I don't know. I hope that my work has improved. I hope that I've gotten better. I think that I have. I think that if you look at my very first, what I consider my very first vlog, to where I was just kind of walking around my old neighborhood and stopped at Soup Plantation, I think that that's what was in that video. I've gotten considerably better. So anyway, that's the end of that. That's my answer to question 1. Sippy sip time. What is the video you are most proud of? I'd probably have to say I'm most proud of the video that I made about the situation with my mom. That was actually a video that, like, once I started doing this and started planning videos and everything like that, that was something that I knew I wanted to do. That was a story that I wanted to tell. I didn't know how I wanted to tell it. I thought about writing it as a screenplay for a while, and then people were just like, you need to write a book about this. This was before the video too. And because I thought about these different ways to tell the story, I mean, I already had the structure. I already had kind of like, I don't want to say an outline, but I knew what I needed to talk about. I knew the points that I needed to make in order to effectively tell that story. And so I decided to make the video. And it didn't turn out quite the way that I wanted it to. There's just a lot more that I wanted to do, but I wanted to have the video out in time for my mother's birthday. It dropped on her birthday this year. So quite honestly, like, if I could go back and redo it, probably would. Especially the ending. I mean, the ending is just kind of wonky because I got overwhelmed and I ended up having to tack on the ending to that video. So it's a little wonky, but ultimately I am proud of that video because I was able to get that story out. I was able to tell it, and it seemed to resonate with people. You know, a lot of people hit me up after watching it, and once again, folks are just like, oh, you need to write this as a screenplay, or you need to write this as a book. And so I think that is something that I'm gonna do. We'll see. Do you struggle with social media? Absolutely not. In fact, I struggle to stay off of social media. The break that I took earlier this year actually did me a lot of good. Even to this day, like, I haven't been on Facebook. I think I started the break, was it at the end of May? So I was just like, you know what, let me just take a break. And I've since gone back to Twitter and Instagram, and I play around on Snapchat a little bit, but I haven't been on Facebook at all. I'm very active on Twitter. I'm becoming active again on Instagram, and those are my two favorite platforms. But I'm feeling like I need to even still just chill a little bit because I'm posting a little too much on both of them. But if if y'all want to follow me, feel free. There's at the end of every video, there's always like the little card that flashes, but my username is @jfingers everywhere. So if you want to follow me on social media, please do, because I don't struggle with it. I don't struggle with it at all. I enjoy it very much. What content creator inspires you the most? I mean, that's an interesting question because I'm inspired by so many different content creators for so many different reasons. Obviously, Casey Neistat is a huge influence. He's influenced everybody. I mean, that's the man that changed the whole vlogging YouTube game, right? And everything from like gear acquisition and selection to how to shoot, how to edit. I tried mimicking Casey in a lot of early videos. And then I started to take those kind of elements and techniques and I tried to make them my own. And so I think that I've developed my own style, but you can definitely see Casey's DNA in my videos. I'm not going to deny that. I think that that's obvious. And also, I mean, like his fearlessness. One of the things that I really admired about Casey is that Casey would run around with a fucking 80D with a massive Rode mic and the biggest Gorilla Pod attached to the mic, and that man would just like boogie board and run around New York with that setup and not give a damn. And that was also just a very big inspiration because that just led me to be like, you know what, I can do the same. And so my goofy ass was running around LA with my SL2 and my Rode video mic, whatever mic I was using, and Gorilla Pod, and I just didn't care. I'd walk into any place with that setup. I know people were looking at me just like, what is this guy doing? There was one time I was hanging out in Beverly Hills. I was on Rodeo Drive and just getting shots. And I remember this little girl running up to me and she was just like, are you a YouTuber? And I answered truthfully, yes, I am. Not a big rich YouTuber with millions of followers, but I think at the time I probably had 50, but I was still a YouTuber. But just to be able to run around in public like that and not care what people thought, not care when people stared. Casey, his videos, just his whole nature like that really empowered me. So he's a definite influence. But then, I look at like people like Peter McKinnon, I love his style as well. Matty Hippoja, Potato Jet. I loved the way their videos looked and tried to mimic those with varying degrees of success and trying to just incorporate those different elements to make them my own. But then I also admire people like Andrea, of Andrea's life, telling slice of life stories, making them interesting. Like for me, I could be talking about the smallest thing, but I want to make that small thing, that thing that's small to me, make it interesting to you. And that's something that I feel Andrea does well, is that she'll talk about things like gardening. She'll talk about her hobbies. And for her, this is her everyday stuff. This is what she does, what she loves to do, but she makes it interesting. She makes it captivating for us as an audience. I try to mimic that, to make my everyday kind of mundane J shit, make it interesting for y'all. Another person I feel does that well is Kelly Stamps. Kelly Stamps, she's done well for herself. That's an understatement. Kelly's just living her life, and she makes going to Italy an experience, and I love that. Again, that's something that I try to do with my videos. So I try to bring y'all with me on my journeys and hopefully entertain and captivate you. So those are just a few of the content creators who inspire me. What frustrates you about other creators? I'm not gonna name any names. Diplomacy at work here. Some creators, I think it's obvious when they are just creating videos because they may be sponsored videos, they have to sell you something, and they're just a bit disingenuous about it. It's just like you think the video is gonna be about one thing, and it really just turns out to be a 10-minute ad for their sponsor. Look, get your money on. I'm not mad. Maybe one day I'll reach that point. I'm not there yet. I'm not mad at a creator someone for instance like Trap Lore Ross, who I think is just dope. He's also another inspiration. I think that man is dope because his videos are so in depth. He is by far like the best hip hop journalist on YouTube. He makes his videos, but he has to get his money on. So perhaps in the middle of the video, or perhaps like at the beginning, he'll drop his sponsored message. But then he gets back to the video. Like the video is not created around the sponsor. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, okay, today's video, we're gonna talk about Snitch 9. But first, a word from our sponsor. Now back to the video. I dig that. But I don't dig it when someone, is just like, oh, 5 tips to make your videos better. And then the entire video is like their sponsors' equipment, like, oh, I use XYZ mics because they're the best. And guess what? XYZ also makes dead cats for your mic. Yeah. And then XYZ makes cables to attach the mic to the camera. Yeah. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing? Like, it's obvious. So for me, that's a big pet peeve, is just like the out of hand sponsored video, the obvious, just kind of like, this is just all product placement. I'm watching an infomercial right now. Question number 6, what frustrates you about your channel? I mean, the thing that frustrates me is that sometimes it's difficult to come up with content. I'm very thankful that that Andrea did this tag video, because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a tag video because, well, I need content. And it's a cool idea. That's what frustrates me, is that I have ideas, but just because of the state of the world right now, I really can't execute the way that I want to. So it's just the struggle. It's just the struggle to come up with ideas consistently, ideas that I think are interesting, that I hope are interesting, that I hope that you're interested in, and just making videos that keep y'all enthralled. I'm still very much a small YouTuber. I don't have that many followers. I don't get that many views. I'm trying my best, but I will say this. I'm not bitter about not getting the views or not getting subscribers as quickly as other channels, because I'm just having fun. I love doing this. This is my hobby. This is my creative outlet away from writing. I'm not chasing money and fame via YouTube. So there's no disappointment or resentment or envy of other YouTubers or anything like that. I'm having a blast. What motivates you to make content? I mean, several things. It's the desire to tell stories, to tell my story. It's the desire to get better with the equipment that I've got, to learn how to use everything and learn how to make better videos. Maybe one day I can make content for someone else, someone besides me. Oh no. Be able to collaborate with the big boys. Casey, if you ever see this. Peter, if you ever see this. Maybe we can do something together. I mean, and just also to build community. I've met so many great people on this platform. I follow some amazing content creators, and I want to keep up with them. YouTube is a very active platform. I think you have to continually create content in order to just kind of keep up with everything. That's just my personal opinion. But I love that. I love making videos, and then I love watching the new videos that are being posted by the folks and the channels that I'm subscribed to. So there you have it. See? Simple, easy, quick. I had to change cards because my other card got full. That was annoying. But small YouTuber tag, donezo. Shout out to Andrea from Andrea's Life for posting her video and posting the questions. I'll post the questions down below as well. So if you want to create your own small YouTuber tag video, you can do so. And I think that I'm supposed to tag 3 small YouTubers so that they can make a video. So I'm gonna do so. I'm going to tag Mermaid Zombie because we need some more content, baby. What is you doing, baby? I know, I'm messing with you. I know you're busy, but the folks need some content. We wanna learn more about you. So Mermaid Zombie, please share with us some more of your favorite things. Get into this small YouTuber tag. I'm also gonna tag Myesa J, aka Myesa in LA. It's my homegirl, brilliant actress. She likes to share with us her recipes and her life here in LA. So I'm tagging you, Myesa, for the small YouTuber tag. Share with us. Bring us into your world a little deeper, please. And finally, I'm gonna tag the homie, George Efta, Hesitant Lion, anime lover, screenwriter, and film buff. George, you've been tagged. Give us the answers to these questions in the small YouTuber tag. The world wants to know. I want to know. Don't let me down now. Don't let me down. Y'all know the vodka makes me giddy. All right, so there you have it. Once again, I'm gonna put all the questions in the description so that if anybody wants to make their own version of this video, they can. And I'm gonna link to everybody that I mentioned in this video so that you can subscribe, check them out. And I thank you for watching this. And I'll see you in the next video.
I wanna be your lawyer.